This is going to be a great video for so many of you living the van life in a camper or exploring the nomad lifestyle. This red shed that kind of looks like a barn could easily go from shed to tiny home. Ever since we got back from Arizona looking at land, looking at custom built sheds, at tiny homes and barn dominiums, I see sheds everywhere. I see sheds. And I've been laser focused and imagining the possibilities of a beautiful home. My home base is Ohio, and in a town where I'm renting a room, accessory dwelling units are allowed. So, what is an accessory dwelling unit, ADU? Well, it's something that's perfect not just for people who live on wheels and want a permanent, affordable home while they use a vehicle like their van to still travel. It is also an option for people who are tired of paying high rent and may not want a mortgage or can't afford one. I'll give an actual definition. An accessory dwelling unit is basically a small, separate living space built on the same property as a main house. It can be converted, from a garage, from the basement, a shed, or a brand new tiny home in the backyard. With its own entrance, kitchen, bathroom, and sleeping area. It's like having a mini house that shares a lot with the main house, with one main house. This green shed tiny house that I'm showing here is in the backyard of a family member's property, and they use it as a shed. So to convert it, it would need to be cleaned out, insulated for weather. It would need electricity and water. You can get all this done for $12K, maybe in some cases less, maybe in some cases more. So the shed isn't in the it's not in an ideal location because there are trees back there and there's nowhere to park your camper. You wouldn't want to park it on the street. It's huge inside the shed. It has a big width and length. I don't know what it is, but it's big. The tallest person could stand up. It's like the size of a standard bedroom. If you can live with a bed, a love seat, or a lazy boy chair, a desk for working, and a small kitchen and tiny bathroom, you can make it work. Why would you want to live in a tiny home? Because it's something you can afford and own. And if you have a camper, you'll have that too. And coming up, I'll show some tiny sheds, some tiny homes on land that would be a perfect spot to keep your camper. Why would you want a tiny house on someone else's land? Okay, I'll answer that. Ideally, you would want it on your own land. If you want me to make another video on the reasonable cost of land in my home base and in Arizona, I will. So here's why you would want it. You'll own the tiny home and you'll pay rent for it to be on the land. The rent would be considerably cheaper than an apartment. Well, why not just rent a room in a house? I'll answer that. There are perks to renting a room. You're not paying the full cost of rent, and since you are saving, you are still able to travel and take road trips. A room does give you privacy. You just lock your door and mind your own business. But the biggest drawback is the community spaces of the kitchen and bathroom. You may have different dietary needs or different food preferences. Some might like to keep the refrigerator stocked. Some may like to keep it to a minimalist, not a lot of things in there where you can find your stuff. As we drive by, you'll see a few sheds on the property I mentioned earlier. They're small and fairly nice, and the land has plenty of space, enough to carve out a pathway and park your camper or to set up a future tiny home site. The houses are close to a busy street, and that won't work for everyone. But if city living fits your lifestyle, this can be an option worth considering. Buying a used shed is one of the cheapest ways to start your tiny home journey. Just remember, if the shed has never been lived in, you'll need to fix it up, bring it up to code, insulate it, and maybe add some solar. The beauty of starting with a used shed is the price is affordable. Tiny homes are a good option for your budget and the potential for an affordable living setup. Gets is as good as time as any to tell you a little bit about me. I know I have some new people here. Welcome. And since about half of the people watching aren't subscribed yet, this might be your first time seeing a video by me. Whether it's your first time or you've been around for a while, welcome and thank you for being here. I'm Frankie and this channel is Joy Route. It's all about living your best life through van camping, road trips, budget travel, tiny home living, alternative housing options. My journey into van life started years ago. I wasn't worried about making things look pretty. I cared about making them affordable, simple, sustainable. Been marching toward minimalism for a while. For years, I've traveled from Ohio to the West and all across the USA in this van. My motto has always been less junk and more journey because the outdoors and nature really are your living room. I love exploring different cultures, foods, cities, and the way people speak and live in different states. That's the beauty of road trip living. Every place teaches you something. But as I've gotten older, I've outgrown this van a bit. I still use it for van camping and shorter road trips. My last road trip was a long one. It was a 10-month journey in 2023. Now, as we move into a new year, I have a friend who's selling me a camper, and that's opening up a whole new chapter. I also have family looking for land, and I'm seriously considering tiny homes or small space living as a way to stay put when I need to, but still live affordably and simply. Right now, I'm renting a room for my cousin. It's cold, and I'm fully team boycott winter. So I'm in the planning stages for what's next. Whether that means camper life, tiny home life, or creating a more stable alternative housing setup. And I'll keep you posted. Let's do a quick recap. With more people in the U.S. struggling with housing affordability, rising rents, and the lack of low-income housing options, alternative housing solutions are becoming more appealing. In the past, people have survived by renting a room, joining co-living communities, or trading services like house sitting and babysitting for free rent. Today, people are embracing van life. They live in full-time in RVs, converting box trucks into tiny homes or campers, or even going off grid to avoid rent. If you're watching this video, chances are you or someone you know is searching for cheap housing alternatives or creative ways to live rent-free or tiny space living ideals. One option we covered is accessory dwelling units, ADUs, also called granny flats, backyard tiny homes, or slave houses, slave quarters. I'm joking. ADUs are available in some cities, but because housing insecurity is nationwide, ask your city about whether ADUs are allowed where you live. If they say no, then suggest that they should be. For me personally, I've always imagined my life at the van dwelling would involve a tiny house on wheels, which is why I connected with Boxabl Modular Homes. Boxabl is a company building prefab homes that can be delivered and set up quickly. They might be affordable for some people who are priced out of traditional housing, but I pulled away because the cost adds up quickly with Boxabl, and before you know it, you've bought a a big house. I've had a video on my Boxabl tour. I have a video on my Boxabl tour that I'll put in the link. Another option I considered was a box truck conversion. While I didn't want a box truck without windows, I've seen other YouTubers living in box trucks and paying to park on private land. Having a safe, reliable place to park every night makes a huge difference when you're living in a vehicle. The beautiful thing about living in a camper is the freedom. If an arrangement doesn't work out, you can simply drive away. On the other hand, an ADU or tiny house is more permanent, though many tiny homes are mobile and can be relocated if needed. I hope you found this video helpful. I'll be sharing more about small space living, minimal housing solutions, and independent living hacks. Tips to keep your energy balanced. I'm an energiologist. Independence is key when facing the affordable housing crisis. If this video gave you ideas, please share it. Leave a comment and let me know what topics you'd like me to cover. I've covered in videos on this channel about tiny home living, van life of course, and alternative housing options. I really appreciate you watching till the end. You could be anywhere watching anything, but you watched this video, so thanks, and I mean it. Take the joy route. Take the joy route, which simply means live your best life.